This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So we were talking about the indexes, right? So in the last class, so we we discussed up to text indexes, how text index is going to help us when there is a huge, description is written, feedback is written, something. It's not a single word kind of, it is sentences. Some sentences have been written and you wanted to get the best, read capability or read capability out of it. You have to introduce a text indexes on those text fields basically. This is efficient basically. You have to definitely use the text indexes to get the better output when you have to read from the like such kind of huge text chunk. You have it, you have to use this, then you get a lot of benefit out of it. Sparse indexes, geographic, the geospatial index, I never used personally, but let's talk a little bit of information about it. Hashed index, we are using it anyway. I'll talk about it. But these two, personally, I never seen people using it. But there should be a purpose. The sparse indexes only contain entries for documents that have indexed field, even if the index field contains null value. So indexed field null value, how come null value index field can have? I'm not sure about this index case, seriously. The index skips over any document what is missing in the indexed field. Okay, when you index a field, even you can miss it. Like you can even you miss the field in the document, still it will pick up that as a null basically. If you example, you have a student number, student name, student address. The next document has student number, student name only. As student address is not there, and you are keeping that index on the address field. So when there is no field inserted, it will take the null kind of it is saying. The index is sparse because it does not include all documents of a collection. Okay. If the if a sparse index would result in incomplete result set of queries sort of, I'm not sure about this, guys. Let's skip this. I mean, no need worry. You never get to work on this one because uh, practically I never seen people using it in the project. The reason behind it, like it is not fully clear to me as well. Like even you enter one record, even if you are entering one document and you are skipping the indexed field, it will pick up the null. It is saying that what is the purpose of it? It is just, even if you do the indexing on other fields, it will accept, I guess. Anyway, let's move to the next topic. So we have a lot of things to discuss. And these two are something I did not work seriously. The sparse index and geospatial index. This will be used in the coordinates, like where your data is like showing one point to other point distances. It is showing, right? That kind of Google Maps. Google Maps use this kind of indexes basically. And even personally, I did not explore this. In our project also, no one was implemented these indexes. Not sure where they really use this. Hashed index, right? Hashed index we know and we implement a lot, and there is a big meaning in it. Actually, hashed indexes are very efficient in terms of when you have to write the data in the shard. We have, we have two type of shardings, guys. We have two types of sharding. So range-based, sharding, hash-based sharding. So range based, there is a reasons why we go with the range based. There is a reason why we go with the hash based. Hash based is an algorithm, basically index algorithm. It will generate a, like a random value. It will generate a random value for every index field. The index field will be used by the sharding to distribute the data. Only for sharding we use this index, not for anything, especially for the sharding. For not individual use, this index will be used for the sharding only. When it comes to the sharding high availability, we will talk about it. What is a hash index? We're going to see that. Hashed indexes maintain entries with the hash of the value of the indexed value. It's just normal index only, except it is maintain some extra algorithmic value. That value will make more efficient when it comes to the right operation in the sharding. We'll see that. But it just like a normal index, it will keep different value basically. The hashing function collapses embedded documents and compute hash for the entire value, but does not support for the multi-key arrays. There is a limitation in the hash. Anyway, hash indexes we don't introduce on multi-key or else arrays kind of. We introduce only on one field for sharding mechanism. We don't pick up multiple values for sharding. Only single key will use for the sharding. That key will distribute the data to all of the servers automatically. That's something we'll see practically. MongoDB can use the hashed index to support the equality queries, basically. So equality queries means everything will be equality query only, the indexes wise. But when it has to distribute the data, it equally distribute the data. Range based does not do the equal distribution of the data. We will see that there are two methods we have to distribute the data. How does each method will work? We'll see in the sharding only. Hashed index do not support the range queries. You cannot run the range queries on the hashed index. Certain range kind of you cannot use it. There is a limitation on it basically. It is only write performance it will give you, but read performance very bad. We'll see that. Hashed index supports sharding a collection using a hashed. This is what exactly. We will use a hashed index when we do a sharding only. Other than that, other cases we never use the hashed index basically. Using the hashed key to shard a collection ensure more even distribution of the data, equal distribution of the data basically. It happens using the hashed key only. See, when we create text index, you mention the text, but here you are mentioning the hashed. That's it. But in the background, you don't see any difference as a user, but it will generate some algorithmic value. That value is something which will help the sharding to distribute the data evenly or equally across the all the nodes in the background. So this is something will be covered again during the sharding. We're going to pick up this for sure. Right, let's come back to the conclusions, guys. These are all conclusion slides anyway about the indexing. Index creation. MongoDB provides several options that only affect the creation of the index. Okay, it will give us a lot of options for creating the index. Different indexes we have, right? We discussed about all of that. Specify these options in the document as a second argument. Okay, when we are creating the index, so let me talk about this quickly. There are multiple options we can use it when we are creating the index basically. Let's talk and then come back to this. We only created index, but we did not use the additional options. Well, that's simple only. We'll explain quickly. Right, these are the things we have. If you pick up any of the collection, okay, lab is there. Yeah, fine. We have this. So if we wanted to create an index on any of the field, basically, in the real world, in the production environment, you'll have large volume of data. Generally, you'll have vast data in each collection. That's how the Mongo is made for. It's not it's not for the small chunk of data. Generally, you'll have the large data sets on each collection and each database, the usual that is. When you are creating an index is going to block the other people operation till it is created. That is the usual nature in any product. Index creation will block the user sessions till it get created. Generally, by nature, it is the same. But if you wanted to create index without blocking user sessions, there is an option in the Mongo. That's something good. So db dot lab dot get indexes. What are the indexes we have? We have one index, right? Extra index. This is a default, don't worry. ID underscore ID, we don't care about it. We have one index which is actually on multi-key index we have, right? So it's compound index, not multi-key. So I'm going to drop it. Anyway, let it be. We don't need to worry about existing. I wanted to create one index on this column. Okay, I'm just giving an example of taking more options when we are creating the index. db dot lab create index. Okay, and just the field is number one. It will create the index, but you wanted it to the index creation. If it is a small, it will quickly do the job for creating the index basically, right? it quickly finishes. But if you have a large volume of data and you wanted to, like not to interrupt the user sessions, you definitely have to use certain extra parameters called background true. Background true. If you use this one, what happens basically? When index is creating, if there is a user load is coming, the creation of indexing will stop automatically. It will stop, pause. It will pauses the creation of index, and user will do the job. He will finish his job. He'll go out of the system again. Use the system will become idle. Then it will pick up the creating the index automatically. It's very smart. MongoDB is very smart. You have to use this feature in all production index creations. If you don't use it, you will see a lot of blockings. If you have a sufficient window of downtime, then see, there is an option given by the Mongo, use it, as simple as it is. If you're creating the index in the background, it is not going to block any user session just for the index creation. Background means it will run in the background when there is no load, no one is reading the collection. Even if it is started and running, someone is trying to read, the index will automatically pass and user will do his own action, come out of it, and then index again, it will start when it becomes idle. So the background means that it means a lot. So next name of the index. You wanted to give a name of the index. Actually, it will follow its own naming convention. The field name underscore one, field name underscore one if you see. But you wanted to really give some name to it. You can give it. It is possible. Name of the index is sample index. I can give any name, doesn't matter. I can give. You can give the name. We did not give so far. And also we can give one more extra parameter, unique. Unique also will be applied. These are the three parameters are available to give. Unique true. Sorry. If you give this, these are the three parameters extra along with every index are available basically. This will fail. Why? Because I don't have a unique data in the S number field where I'm trying to create. If I run this, it will throw the error duplicate. So the unique does not support on that field anyway, because there are no unique field. If you see the unique values are not there in the S number. If I run this, it will finish basically. It is created. So the best practice says that create the index in the background all the time. So let me pick up this as a notes. Create the index in the background without interrupting user sessions. Okay. Background must be used. Create the index in the background without interrupting the user sessions. So when you use the background, it will not interrupt the user sessions. Even if it is creating index, it will pause automatically and start from there onwards. Okay, keep that in mind. Which is very good option we have. Right. If we go and see the indexes, how it is created, see, you can identify how the indexes, previous indexes are created actually. Are they really followed the standard or not? We can find it out. See, this index just now we created, and we given a name, whatever the name we wanted to give it. It is this one is a field name underscore one, another field name underscore one. Always field name underscore one is the index name, but you wanted to give your own name, you can supply it. It picked up. See, sample index. And if you see the background is applied true. This is a smart way of doing the creating the index in the real world. Mongo collections are not small, generally not small. Generally they'll keep a lot of data. So when there is a huge data, if you are creating an index to improve the performance, and that time if the user sessions are getting impacted, they might complain. So you're doing something, just do it quietly. System will do it quietly when you use this option. User does not know that there is something is going on and their sessions are blocked because of this action. That's what is called background. So let's come back to the slide. Right. Specify, see, MongoDB provides several options. Affect the, okay, these are the options it is talking about. Okay. Unique, we can mention three values: name of the index, unique, and background index. These three options are available with the creation of index generally. Specify these options in the document as a second argument when you are creating the index. By default, creating an index block all the operations on a collection. This is what I was saying basically. The database that holds the collection is unavailable for read and write operations until the index build completes on a collection. Okay, index build or index creation, both will block it basically. So for potentially long running index building operations, consider the creating index in the background. You have to definitely have to use the background so that it will not impact the user load. It will not stop the user load for just creating the index basically. By default, background is false for building the indexes basically. You can combine the background option with, come on, that's not with other operations in a following way. So db.item create index, we just have seen this, how we can use this option, right? We've seen already how we can create the index in the background. This is what it is, background. It is created instantly because there is no user load and is small. It is created in seconds, microseconds, right? So that is why it just went and created it. But when you do in the real world, it definitely takes time. When it is taking time, it runs in the background anyway. It will create immediately. You get the output like this instantly, but in the background, it won't finish. It will wait for that turn to do the job. If it is something user load is going on, so it will not block the user sessions. That's something you need to understand. Right. So removing the existing index, you wanted to remove an index. So just what you have to do, db dot collection name drop index. Okay. This is a small command. You have to use it. And if you wanted to drop this, just highlight this, gone, index is gone. Now if you see, only two indexes left, right? So if you wanted to delete an index, uh, I'll pick up this output and dropping the indexes, dropping the index from existing collections. This is enough, right? You can drop the index if wherever you don't want to keep the index, right? To remove an index from a collection, so you can use this one. You can also use a db.collection drop indexes. So don't do this. This is going to do, if you have index, user created index, it will drop all indexes. Drop indexes is very dangerous. Don't do that. I don't recommend this. So you don't mention anything. Okay. Drop indexes. It is going to drop every index of collection except leaving one default index. Number of indexes before 2, now it will be seen. And see here, id index is dropped for collection. This will non id, this won't be dropped. The next thing will be, other things will be dropped. Come on, if you see, id will be left behind anyway. For any, you cannot drop this index. You are not created this index. Basically it is created by the system, and it will go when you drop the complete collection anyway. But you have lots of indexes. Let me do it quickly if you wanted to. Where is create index? One index I created, and I'll create as name. Well, intentionally I'm creating a lot of indexes. What it is saying? That's a sample index. I have to change the name, right? What was the other field we had? Address or let's see. I'm just to show this, right? If you see db dot lab dot get indexes, we have a lot of indexes now. See, now what I'm going to do, db dot lab dot drop indexes, not particular index. Indexes I'm not mentioning anything. All will be gone. Number of indexes, we have 4, and it is okay, it said means. So the drop is successful and you left with one index. For any reason you want to drop all the indexes on the collection, use this, but I don't recommend doing this for sure. We don't drop everything that we have. We have to analyze really. You have to drop or not. Right. Modifying the any existing index, like you cannot modify, there is no modify, you have to drop and recreate. In Mongo, you created an index and you wanted to modify it for something. You cannot do it. You just drop and recreate. There is no option for this. To modify an existing index, you need to drop and recreate it. To here, drop the index. To modify the index, you must drop the existing index. You're dropping it, recreating it for some reason, basically. So when do we do this basically? See, we created index on 2 fields, but now we wanted to create the index on 3 fields. Why? Because I wanted to make our more, like read combinations. Like we are discussed about indexes. If you guys remember, where was that? Okay. We discussed about, like prefixes, like S number, S name, S address, like how the format and all. You wanted to use the same index for multiple combinations. You create some more field into the existing field. You cannot add it. You create the new index with the 3 fields, drop the previous index so that it will save the space basically. So that way we will drop the indexes when we see that duplicate indexes are created unnecessarily. I guess you guys are following what I'm trying to say. Rebuilding the indexes. Basically, rebuilding the index. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Rebuilding index expensive operation in any product. You talk about RDBMS, non-RDBMS, whatever it is. Rebuilding index is definitely an expensive operation, and you need to have a downtime for doing this. General downtime means it's not a downtime. Basically, when it is doing it, you see some blockings, basically on particular collection or particular table when it is happening. If you need to rebuild indexes for a collection, you can run the command. This is the command to do the rebuilding index. So go and run simply. Okay, we have dropped all of this, right? Anyway, it is not much fragmented. If the data is, uh, deleted, a lot of data is deleted, index and reinserted with the same numbers, that's where it will go like the indexes won't point properly and you see the unnecessary thing kind of. So when you run this thing, what the heck? db.collection.reindex anyway, nothing, it's not a big syntax. Reindex. When this is scheduled, you can schedule it. How do you schedule? I'll talk about the scheduler, no need worry. Reindex. You run this in, it does a rebuild. When it is doing the rebuild, what it does basically, it will drop and recreate the index. Nothing, Mongo will not do anything. It will drop the index and recreate the index. That's what it does basically. Just a minute. Right. This is what it was saying. When you do the reindex, use the background so that user load will not get impacted. And it just, when the user load is there, it just pauses automatically. When the user load is not there, it will pick up automatically. If the user is keep hitting all the time, it won't never runs. That's how the another disadvantage is there. If the Mongo is idle, then only it will pick up. If there is no idle time on the system, people are keep hitting 24/7, it will wait in the background forever. Why? Because you asked to wait and do it. Don't interrupt the user sessions. That's what background means. That also you need to consider. If the system is 24/7 getting used and you wanted to do the rebuild to improve the performance and you're given the background, it is just waiting forever because people are hitting all the time. So if that is the case, don't use the background and take the downtime and do it. That's a better thing. So let's pick up this. Rebuilding the indexes. on a collection. We have only collection level anyway. Collection in background to not to interrupt user sessions. This is enough. Okay, you need to know this. What next? Let's see. This is about the indexing, guys. To see the status of the indexing process, the current operation. We're going to see this in the next module. I'm going to pick up this next immediately after this. Okay. What is the current top? How do you check the MongoDB sessions? What's going on in the database, basically current database DBI connected to this, and people are seeing a lot of issues with this. Then I'll go here, current op. It will give you the complete database open sessions. What are the sessions are running at the moment? Each session details, which from which machine is initiated, and the IP of the machine. It will give you a lot of details. Right now, only my single connection is active. I'm only connected to it. But when you run this against a database, it's going to display all the sessions on the database are active, who are connected and doing what, everything it will display basically. Okay, even including the command, what they are running on the Mongo basically. If you see what I'm running, current top one command, also it will display what they are running through that each session, the current top. And the same thing, this current top only, but you keep it true, it will display the complete server sessions, not one database. You can run from any database, current top true, it is going to display the complete server level sessions, not one database, all sessions at server level. Without db.current top is going to tell you the open session and the current database where you are connected, only the database. But I wanted to see the complete server level sessions, db.current true. If you give this one, it is going to give you all the sessions, including the background sessions, system sessions, and everything. It's like sys process in SQL Server. Okay. So anyway, we'll talk about this. We have discussion on this area. Not to worry. Right. So that way you can see it. If you wanted to kill the session, you can kill it basically. If it is just running forever and you wanted to kill that particular session, you can kill with the OP ID. We will have an ID for this. This is the one. Use this option and kill it. How do we kill? What are the situations? We will see in the further sessions. We have that maintenance. Okay. For now, you just understand that we can kill. Use a kill op and use the OP ID. It will kill that session, and then the session will be terminated automatically. You cannot terminate the replicated index build on the secondary members of the replica set. See, secondaries we cannot do. Actually, in replication, you don't need to do the rebuild. It does. It will take care in the background. If you do on the primary, it will take care all the index. It is like, see, when your TTL index does not work on the secondaries, but the rest of the operations will work. If I'm doing the rebuilding index on the primary, it will applies to the secondaries also. But what it is saying, cannot terminate the replicated index build. Okay, okay. You killed it, and whatever the point it is built in the primary, it will happen in the secondary. That you cannot kill it. Still, because whatever is there in the primary pushing it. You cannot go and kill it on the secondary. Why? Because it has to be replicated. That is the reason we cannot kill from the secondaries. Listing the Mongo indexes, like it is simple. We just read, right? What are the indexes we have on the collection db dot collection name dot get indexes. This is going to give the index number of indexes in a collection, right? Finding the number of collections on a one collection. Indexes on one collection. Right? That is the one. Finding, the next thing is finding indexes on all collections of a, this is very important, we use it many times. Finding the index in all collections of a database, Mongo database. This is very important, especially we use many times. So there is a query. I'll just run this. We have a lot of collections, right, in this database. If you see, show collections, we have these many collections, and it will go and find index on every collection. See, it is giving the indexes for all collections at one go of particular database. If you see, indexes for cloud collection, if you see, we have, these are the collections. First collection it went for, it is giving the details of the collection anyway. So indexes for class 1, indexes for class 10. So only default indexes we have if you look at. And this is for indexes for colors, is a collection. This is a collection. And here you have an extra index. So if you see, most of the collections does not have indexes. If you see the beginning, you see only the default index exists basically for a class. This is a class collection, class 1 and the class 10. If you see, all of these are following only one default index, ID field indexing. So there are no indexing, definitely there will be performance hit. You need to analyze that way. If someone is complaining, see, MongoDB performance tuning, how does it start? Every time someone is hitting it, it can connect only one database. There is no option of one query can go and talk to two databases at a time. There is no option. There is no join. One connection can connect to one collection, one database. That's how it is, because data is locality. Data locality is maintained for that reason. So if someone complains, immediately the first question you need to ask is which database you are hitting. Someone says we are seeing very bad performance, we are seeing very slow operations. The immediate question you need to ask, what database you are connecting. They'll have to tell us. We don't know basically where their queries are hitting. We don't know, 100% we don't know, because there are a lot of applications where they are hitting. They have to tell us for sure. Without telling, we cannot do anything, because there are a lot of databases. They have to specifically tell us, and specifically we do the tuning actually. Basically, we need to trace the load on the specific database, not server level. There is no server level trace basically in the Mongo. Database level load we can trace. How do we trace what queries are running for longer time, what they're really using the execution plan properly or not? Everything you can do it. That is, I'll talk about in this model itself. The next model. Okay. So this is about finding the collections on each. Let's keep this. This is a query, or else I can pick up from here. Anyway, it is working from there also, right? Fine. I'll paste it. This is very useful command, especially I use many times. So that if someone is asking performance is bad, just go and check what's wrong with that, basically. Right? Come on, just a minute. Next, last, measure the index usage. If I'm reading a query, is the query really using the index or not? How do we know when we see the execution plan? That we already discussed anyway. I quickly do it. So query performance is a good a general indicator of an index. MongoDB provides number of tools that allow you to study the query operations and observe the use of index on your database. Written query plan with explain. So when you're reading a collection and you're giving the explain with execution stats, we have seen in the beginning we spent a lot on the execution plan. That is what it is. When you give the execution stats, it will tell you that index scan or collection scan right immediately. When you give the execution stat, it will give you the how many documents examined, how many keys are examined, how many documents given as written as a output. Yeah, so those are the three factors will tell you that how the like system is impacted. If keys examined and documents examined, the number of returns are given all are same, then your query is so good. If documents examined more and written less, then that's not good. More keys are examined, give written or less, that is also not good. So those three keys you need to look at it all the time. I was talking about this, guys. Few. This is the focus mainly for us. How many documents you are reading? How many keys it is examined? How many documents it is returned? Basically, it is reading everything because I did not give the condition. Okay, that's where things comes into picture. Anyway, if you see, these are the three factors you know need to look at. At the same time, you have to look at this. Collect, scan meant to scan the entire collection, as simple as it is. You are not supposed to scan the entire collection because there is a lots of data. You would definitely have to go with the proper filters, and the filter should have the indexes so that your read will be much effective on the system. And who is not following the indexes, who is actually reading different patterns, we can find out. How do we find out? We will see in the next module anyway, right? So this is what it is about execution. We can create 64 indexes in a single collection. 64 index. I never seen creating 64 indexes. Too many indexes also will, will hurt the performance. Why? Because indexes will take the space. More indexes, more space. More space, more load on the system. As simple as it is. Finding all collections, finding all indexes on each collection of a database. This is a query we just discussed. This is all about indexing, guys. Any questions from this? We are done. You wanted to ask anything about the creation? No need to worry. How do we trace the load and which people are not following the indexing standard and there are no indexes at all, but still they are reading a lot of data? How do we identify? How do we trace the queries and all? That is something comes in the next module right after this. Mongo administration. This is where we will start actual DBA tasks, especially. Indexing is also falls under DBA responsibility. Developer does not know at all what's going on in the background. What he knows is he's getting the response quicker or faster, or quicker or slow. That's it. Faster or slow he is getting. He'll complain on that part. We have to analyze it. We have to create the index as a DBA. It's our responsibility. It's not developer responsibility. Creating the indexes basically. So I mean, he has to also need to take care of that. What patterns he's reading, based on that he had to create the indexes. If they are not following the standards, we will intervene and then giving the suggestions, finding the root causes, all that. It's our job. Fine. So now, any questions in the indexing? I'm done with it. I guess clear. We spent the third 2.5 classes on the indexing itself, right?
Yeah, Ravi?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I had sorry, Anita, please carry on. Yeah.
So you mentioned about rebuild of indexes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there something for reorg indexes in
No,
MongoDB?
no, no. We don't have rearg, only rebuild.
Okay, and how does this blocking and all works in this? Like,
I'm going to talk about how do we find the blockings and how many sessions are under block. That next immediate topic is that only. We'll see that.
okay,
We'll see that. How many are blocked, how many reads are going on, how many writes are going on, how many reads are really blocked, all that we can see. That I'll pick up in the next slide immediately.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So it's like generally it update when in SQL when we rebuild the index, it update the statistics also. So here it is the same case.
No, no, no. Actually, it is not about statistics and all. What it does, it will drop off all the indexes, it will recreate all the time. There are no statistics kind of. It is kind of a statistics only, you can say, but here we don't have statistics kind of things. Like you can update statistics, it will get updated kind of. There is no rearg. There is no rearg means there are no statistics basically. Statistics are there in the background anyway to refer to the index and get the data. When the data is actually dropped, that empty space will point to the empty space pointing, but there is no data basically. That something is not good. And it is reinserted. The data where it is pointing to went into somewhere, some other location. The index does not know about it basically, the existing index. There, the indexes will be missed. It won't be, it will not go with the efficient reading. We have to do the rebuilding on timely basis, like weekly, at least weekly once. So there are no, looking at the statistics, there is no rearc, only we have a rebuild index in the Mongo. When you do it, it does the complete, dropping of the index and recreating it. So it will get the new statistics when you do it. So that it knows exactly where the data is sitting because it rebuilds the indexes completely. Is it clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Karthik, you joined twice. Okay, it is gone. Okay, fine. Fine. So this is about the indexes, guys. Let's enter into, this is a main interesting module for us. From here, we do enter into the lot of administrative work, especially and interesting topics. All these are all. Just try to follow. This module will talk about a lot about the Mongo, a lot. If you know this, you can do the administration, a lot of administration. So this module is very, very important. Try to follow very closely. Checking the server health. How do you check the server health basically? Server health or database health, whatever it is, you wanted to check the health of it basically. How do we check the server health basically? When the server is rebooted, you have to read the logs. We do read the logs to find the health all the time. This is what we do. So Mongo user, he wants it. So like ps grep. So Mongo is running or not, this is a command we use it, right? So from where the Mongo is running, from here, this is what the Mongo, and I'll pick up this. Okay, so cat, I'm reading it. I can read directly. If I read it, before I read it, I wanted to see how much data is there in it, how many lines are there. I always use this, guys, all the time. 11 only. Okay, very simple. We can read it everything. Cat. So, oh, what I'm doing actually, I have to read the log, right? Okay, I need to know that log. Sorry, this is the log. Log is WCL. This is the log. Let's see how much of data is there in it. 655 lines. Okay, that's fine. Let's read it, everything. We can filter it if you wanted to when you read it. So basically, when we read it, we need to look for the errors, basically, which is very, very important. You see any errors kind of things here when the rebooted, we look for the errors. Is everything is loaded as expected? If you see like this plane, like it is coming with everything is absolutely fine. There is nothing is reported as an error, then it is fine. Sometimes maybe physical files are corrupted, something happens, something if it is reporting some error, that you need to look at. When the server is restarted, if you wanted to check the health of the Mongo, you have to read the Mongo log file, as simple as it is. Every time it will reboot, it will create a new log file. What are the log files it will create? How do we manage the log files is something we have in this module itself, basically. Every time it reboots, it will create a new log files basically. So let's do this. I'll not enter into this topic now, but we have separate topic on that one. I'll explain how you manage the logs. If you don't manage, this is also an issue. You see here, there is one log basically. Over a time, this becomes very big if you don't manage it, if you don't even reboot the server. It records lots of events, not small. It records every error that is occurring, if I'm creating a collection, all DDL. So db dot, where I am right now, db dot, let me see what other collections we have. db dot, what we don't have, lab 10. I'm just creating just for this showing some event. Oh, come on, what I'm doing. Small record I'm entering it just to create the collection. Now collection got created. What is the collection it is created? Lab 10. This is what. Now if you read it, the Mongo log file, it will tell you that lab 10 is generated with this. It is created in the background. It is created. If I'm dropping it, only drop, like, you are modifying the data up to, sorry guys, don't mind. If you are modifying the data, and that won't get recorded, only DDL, like creating the collection, dropping the collection, only two things will record in the log file. If someone says that if it is not dropped, we can find in the log file. It's like a schema. In SQL Server also we have the auditing kind of thing basically. Okay, so now I'm going to drop one collection. Items emp feedback class, maybe class not drop. I'm dropping it intentionally or whatever it is. It is done. Now you see the event here. See, finishing the collection drop. Basically, you see this? You see this? Now no one is saying that is not accepting, is dropping that. So grep it, grep, grep on the collection. On what collection? Class. So if I do this, it will tell me wherever the class collection is involved in the output. You see the class collection here. When you rebooted, this is generated, and these are all the things. At the end, you find it. Collection drop was happened basically at so and so time. But the bad thing with this is who dropped it, that it won't record it. That is not there, but it is dropped. So who dropped it is something is not given in the log. Something is they would have given some information about the user as well. That's something we cannot trace it in Mongo. That's very worst thing. Anyway, we have to like audit it basically. How do we audit? We'll see. See, checking the server health means looking for the first Mongo is running or not. First, when the server is rebooted, you have to check this Mongo is running or not first. Grep, Mongo. Okay, Mongo server is running fine. If it is running, is it really loaded with all the proper details or not? We go and read the log file. That is what health of the Mongo means. So read the logs and you see any potential errors and you need to look at that. If it is cleanly loaded, then no need to worry. Health is good. It'll write the event. If something is not loaded fine, it'll write the event. Okay, clearly it'll write the event, and that event you have to pick it up, or else if you see the big one, then go for the error all the time. Error is not good. Error. This error itself you have to watch. There is no error in the whole log file. Absolutely good. Even that single command is also fine. Like you need to look for the errors when it is loading. The errors are not good. If it is a potential error, you have to look at and then fix it after the reboot anyway. So that's what the server health means. Terminating the running operations basically. So anyway, I'm going to talk about it. We have everything. Just it is a kind of a discussion. Terminate how you can kill a session if something is going on. How you can manage the log files. I was just talking about this log file. Log file becomes very big if you don't manage it. It will become 10 GB, 20 GB, 30 GB files also I have seen. It is going to occupy all the disk space where it is sitting. If that is the case, how do you recycle the log? How do you recycle it? We're going to see that. It gives a lot of information. Locking and connections, blockings. This is where we can see it. Profiling and performance issues, changing the configurations if you wanted to change the existing configuration, and security and copy and clone the with troubleshooting. There is a lot of things are going to be maintained and discussed in this module, guys. Especially this is very, very important for all of you as a DBA. Let's start from the first server status. Right. So to check whether the Mongo is running or not, you just check this first and verify the logs. Two things you have to do: check the server status and verify the logs. And this is something very important for a DBA life. And this is going to give a lot of information. Let's talk about this a lot. It takes quite a long for us to discuss. It will give a very big output, and each output it is very helpful for us. db.server status. Okay, if you run this, it will give you very huge output. See, it is giving very big output. And what and all is important from this? Let me explain one by one. This output will give a lot of information, basically, a lot. So db.server status. First is giving the server name in the output. And what is the version of the server right now? And it's a MongoDB server process. And what is the PID, server PID? If you look at here, process ID of the Mongo. What is the process ID Mongo? 6934. You see this 6934. You see this value 6934. Mongo's, if you wanted to kill the Mongo session or server process, you can kill it using this particular ID. Okay. And uptime, this is very, very important. Uptime is really important. If someone asks you when the server is restarted, this uptime will tell you this value is in second. So let's talk about the uptime. Uptime is important. People do ask that. Uh, db.server status dot uptime. If you run, this is uptime. It is in seconds. I want it in minutes divided by 60. Just give that value and divide it by 60. 497 minutes. And if I wanted to get in hours, then I have to give 3 per hour 3600 seconds, right? 3600 seconds. This is an hours. 8 hours ago, it is restarted. And you wanted to see in days, if it is a very big value, the seconds, you wanted to see in days, how many seconds per day? 84,600 something, I'm not sure. But anyway, which means 0.35 day. It was started ago. So if you say how many hours, how many days, how many minutes, how many seconds, you have all the converting it. It's direct seconds and minutes, hours and days. These many days ago, it is restarted. That's how. This will be a question. How long ago Mongo rebooted? So simple question. You have to go and look for the uptime on the server status function basically. This will give you the information about it, right? Right. Let's go on some other output. This will give a lot of information which is very important for DBA. We'll see all of that. I'm going to take you through what is important first. Right. This is something very important. Uptime. Uptime milliseconds, uptime estimate. These are all no need to worry about this. You don't need to worry. Asserts connections. This is very, very important again. How many connections are there? If you see Mongo is not accepting the connection. Someone says that. So you can go see this one. If Mongo is up and taking the connections or not, we will see here only connections. If you see, there are current connections. Only two connections are there on the Mongo. Two connections are there at the moment and only one is active. This will tell that how many people are actually connected actively to the system. If it is only saying one, so no one is connected. So no traffic is generating on the Mongo. No traffic means no active sessions. Either it should be idle or server is not connecting to the application whatsoever. If someone is complaining, this is the one you need to look at. If active sessions looking like a big number, we'll say that, see guys, we are seeing a lot of traffic on the server. That's what we say. A lot of traffic, these many active sessions are going on. It seems server is not having issue. It seems your application is having issue. See, basically, Mongo sometimes will not connect. What are the reasons it will not connect? So first thing is service will shut down because server rebooted, service is not started, and immediately people will face the issue like Mongo is not connecting. That is the first thing you need to check. Server is up or not. If the service is up, what is the next thing? They'll have network issue. If they are not able to connect, you need to ask them to do the telnet from that machine. It's a default question we need to ask. Someone is saying that we are not able to connect to Mongo from so and so server. You always ask telnet and the DB server name space the port what the Mongo is listening on. You have to definitely ask that. Telnet will give you the exact reason. Okay, it is talking on that port means there is no network issue, nothing else. There will be authentication issue most probably. Third layer is authentication. So we will look at what user they are using, what passwords they are using. We'll monitor and we'll suggest it anyway. But these are the three layers you need to look at. First is a Mongo service, next is network connectivity, then authorization. Three things we need to look at when someone complains about the connectivity. And also, this is also will tell you an idea, rough idea, server is receiving the request or not, basically. Active, you need to look at current anyway, it will show a big number, but active, who are connecting at the moment, that you need to look at. This will tell you how many sessions are going on at the moment. Okay, this is very important for us. Next, what else other output is important from this? I'm going to explain what is important for us. So this must be, come on, you wanted this outputs, guys? Maybe if you want it, I'll keep it. How many minutes? I'll keep it this way. Minutes, hours, okay, and days. I go MongoDB server started. This is enough, right? So no. Finding the active sessions. Right. Let's move on. So there are a lot of things to talk about in this one. If you know like able to read this, most of the things you can troubleshoot from this function. Most. That is why you wanted to spend time here on everything what we need to look at. Come on. So we know the connections now. Election metric. This is about the replica set. You don't need to worry about this for now, and we don't need to look at this for now. Extra free monitoring global log. This is very big thing you need to know. Very important thing in the Mongo. Okay, so let's talk about that. Global logs, right? db.server dot global log, right? See, this will give you very important information, especially if someone says their sessions are dead slow. Yesterday it was running absolutely unexpected, microseconds or seconds are in a minute, but today it is taking a long time. Definitely that will undergo the blocking. That is default. That is only thing the session will wait on generally. If it is running yesterday 1 minute, today it is 10 minutes, definitely it is going through the blocking. That usual case generally, or else it is waiting on the resource. Resource maybe will give the error after a while. If it is not at all picking a thread forever, it will throw the error. But if it is already started the execution and it is went into the waiting state because of some blocking, it is giving you the complete server level. How many readers are blocked? Current sessions are under queue. How many people are blocked? How many writers are blocked? How many readers are going on right now currently? What people are reading it? What people are writing? How many number sessions count? So this will give you a fair idea that how it is server level. It is server level. These many people are in queue means these many got blocked. These many writers are in queue means these many writers are blocked. And the current active client, these many readers are going on. These many writers are going on at the moment. This will give an idea, quick idea. Okay, there are blockings because readers are blocked, writers are also blocked. Okay, finding the, let's write this. all users read and write operations count on the server along with blocked read and write operations. Can use command. Whatever it is. Command means it is something function. Right. This is what you have to use it immediately, instantly. This will give you very important information. This is in the performance tuning. We need to know who really blocked, and if there someone is complaining that they really blocked, you need to know that. So this will tell us. Okay. Any questions on this one? If not, I'll move on to the next one by one. What we need to look at. So this is so important for many reasons. We read this and we'll troubleshoot and fix the issues. Right. Where are we? Global logs. Okay. These are all network, streaming and all that. We don't worry about it. Op latencies also not worry about. And op counter. This is definitely important thing for us. Op counters. Right. What is this? What is this basically? How many inserts you have done after the server started? How many after the server started, basically? So this will tell you an idea, basic idea. Is the system is mostly used for the writes or reads? This is the main important thing for the sharding. Without knowing this, you should not shard a collection. It's mandatory, basically, on the system. Is it a read, or people are reading more, writing more? You need to know that. That analysis must be done. Based on that, we do the sharding, basically. Okay. We need to know whether the people are doing the proper sharding or not based on this output. So now, come on, just a minute, guys. If you see this counter insert one, why it is one? Because where I am connected to this is and db dot lab 10 we created, right? Lab 10. I'll insert one more record. Just if you run the insert and it will trace it. So S number 2. So it is an insert. If I go and read op counter, it will become 2. Insert become 2. So after server is started, these many inserts are done at server level. These many queries have been done on the server level. These many updates have been done on the server level. So what we are actually tracing here, all operations at server level. These many inserts, these many queries have been run against the server. These many updates have been done. These many deletions have been done. So let
So
me.
this data is based only basically from since the server has been restarted, right?
That's correct. Server every time server restart, it will recycle.
Okay.
But it will give you an analysis like what people are doing it on the server. Mostly read or writes.
You're right. Okay.
So if I do the delete example,
So it takes data from the log, basically.
no, it is not from the log. It is direct trigger. Direct trigger. It is like increasing the value. It does not take
Okay.
from the value. It never go to the log. So now I'm going to do a remove. I'm removing it. I'm trying to delete a record. Yes, number 1. It is removed one record. If you go and see the op counter, delete is 1. One time delete has run triggered. It's not one record. One time deletion is triggered. In this deletion, you delete 1 lakh record, doesn't matter, but it is only record one statement, one update statement. In that one update statement, I updated 1 lakh records, it does not matter. One time it is triggered, one is a counter, it will increase. These are the counters, how many times the command has ran, just tracing that. So this will give you a fair idea about the server, what exactly server used for most of the time. They are writing lots of data, they are reading lots of data, or else they're updating it. Most what kind of operations are more on the system. It will give a fair analysis about the operations on the system. Following? Say something, please.
Yes.
It is so simple. So whatever you're doing, that is exactly, see, if I wanted to query, this is a 19. So what I'll do, db.lab 10.find. This is a query. I did a query and the query will become 20. So up counter, it became 20. See, it was 19. Now it is 20 because I read the data. It is exactly tracing what you are doing on the system. Is it clear? Only these are the 4 things you need to look at. This thing you don't worry about. Even systems background sessions are also running and it is doing something. This counter will keep change. Don't look at this counter. Only 4 counters will look at. Basically, insert, query, update, delete. What people are doing more. That based on that we can conclude some things. What something is further. But anyway, you need to know this output. How do you get it? Like what exactly it does. Let me write some words about it. Finding all op counters operations, number of operations, all number of operations on MongoDB, like insert, update, delete, and query. I'll keep a note. Note is these values will be zeroed out, zeros out once the server is rebooted. This is a note, very important note. The counters will start from the beginning once the server is started. Okay, so that you need to keep in mind. What else? Is it clear to everyone? It's just a counter how many operations you have done on the system. One more thing, let me do this. If example, I wanted to ask question this one. It's a question for you all. I'm inserting, I'm keeping one column here, but not the other side. Will it do the insert? Tell me, it's a question. It will throw the error. You're not following the syntax. Will it increase the counter for insert? Failed action, but it is triggered. Will it will it actually count that as a command as run?
No.
No, only successful counters it will trace. There is unsuccessful counters also we have anyway, that we don't care, but anyway, we'll see that also if you want it. Unsuccessful, successful, both including it'll tell you, I guess. There's something like that. I feel up counters, replication up counters. Okay, we don't have unsuccessful, it seems. Right, what kind of storage engine we are using? White Tiger. Okay, and this is op count for replication. How many transactions are replicated? What type of transactions are replicated most? You can see from here. Replication related. I mean, the secondaries, what data you are pushing into the secondaries, it'll keep a trace here. Only replication related. Storage engine, and this is memory allocation. How much of memory is allocated? How much memory under use? What is memory you can release to the system? Total free bytes. We will talk separately about this. Separate discussion. I wanted to skip that for now.
So what isolation levels does this MongoDB use?
Locking mechanism.
The isolation levels like read committed and read
Right,
uncommitted.
right. That comes in the next module. Like you had to mention a transaction level. By default, isolations are not there on the server. You have to mention when you are writing the query. We have
Okay.
read acknowledged, memory acknowledged, journal acknowledged, replica acknowledged. You have to mention that what isolation you wanted at what level. It by default there is nothing like at the server level.
Okay,
You
there
have to
is no.
mention it is a transaction level.
Okay.
Transactions, this is not important. This memory is important for us. Anyway, we'll see that TC malloc, that is very important, but not now. So sync, LSM, cache, we don't use all of this. Capacity, no. Connections, no. Caches, no. Logs, log, perf, replication. This is complete replication session. Thread state, transaction, available, concurrent transactions, writes and reads. These many can happen. This is very important, right? db.server status dot mem. So what is the memory it is at the moment it is using? Actually, it is completely occupied 1 GB RAM at the moment. 1 GB RAM Mongo is taking, but it is using only 88 MB only. That is what it is saying basically at the moment. The total memory occupied by Mongo and how much memory it is using it. Resident means how much Mongo currently Mongo sessions are using it. 88 MB, but how much memory it is locked? 1 GB. Why it is locked 1 GB is a discussion we have it. Memory management. We have separate discussion on the memory management, guys. Mongo, like structure it's a more memory intensive product basically. It occupies more memory. How it occupies, what formulas are there, I'm going to talk separately. I don't want to get into much in detail, but anyway, I'll just keep this one for now. Not worry, we have a lot of discussion in that direction. Finding RAM, current RAM utilization, and total RAM locked by Mongo DB on the server. This you need to understand. Total RAM occupied by Mongo. Total RAM used by current sessions, used by current active sessions.
So here we don't define the max memory to the server.
No, you don't do that. You can restrict if you wanted, but yeah, that layer I'll talk of separately. How we will manage the memory, separate topic for us. That is the reason I'm not picking much details here. Don't worry about it. I'll talk it separately because once we know the performance tuning and all, I'll pick up the topic. So if I pick up now, you definitely it'll divert the discussion. So that's the reason
So
I'll
it will
pick up.
also show what is running right now, what command is running.
Yeah. That still
Okay.
we are beginning. We are just at elementary level. See, we just started the admin. We enter into the admin today itself. That indexes is something anyway admin task, but actual admin task we enter it today itself. Okay, we'll see one by one, layer by layer, so that you get the more clarity. Okay, no need to worry. I'll give a fair idea about everything what we do in the Mongo because I'll share all my experience anyway. We are on this one right now on the server state itself. We have a lot of things to go, so there you get the more slowly all the clarity. So what left in the servers? Let's see. These are all important from this function. Come on, metrics. No. Mem is till this point covered. Okay. This is all useless anyway. Right. These are all you need to know, guys. Uptime, connections, number of connections, global logs, and op counters, and what else we did? Op counters again. Mem. So I anyway mentioned here. These are the basic things we read from that server status. And also, if you wanted to know which host you connected, it will give a lot of information, host name, and also the version, the Mongo version also it will give you version, all that. This is also we use it sometimes. So read it from this one. Host of the server host, which server you connected currently in the Mongo, this will tell you. Within the Mongo, which server you connected within the Mongo, if you wanted to know, this will tell you. It's a very important command for us. Let me write some words about it. Finding the server name from Mongo shell. Anyway, on the machine level, you can find it, but Mongo shell, we can switch from one server to another server, remote connection. So that is why you have to be careful you are connected to the same server or not. MongoDB server version. These are all you need to know out of that. Right, let's finish the next one more scenario. Stop MongoDB process. This will I'll cover today. We have 12 minutes more, right? So stop. Generally, when do we stop the Mongo? When something OS team is doing the job, like they are patching it, they are rebooting the machine. Before they do, the best practice always says that stop the Mongo. Before the OS team start the server, stop the server. It's mandatory. It's mandatory means, of course, the best standard. You follow it, you don't follow it, Mongo might will come online, but it can corrupt if you don't do the graceful shutdown. Basically, it is a problem. Where is the problem? We'll see. I'll tell you in the next slide. But right now, how do you stop it? So, example, I wanted to shut down the Mongo. db dot shutdown server. This is a command to do the stop Mongo. But if you run this, it will fail. You must run this command only against to admin database. Only against admin database. Use admin and run that command db dot shutdown server. Okay, I'll keep this anyway. If I run this, Mongo is shut down. So shutting down the Mongo server. Okay, this stopping the Mongo server from Mongo shell. Sorry guys, don't mind. So see, why I can't just, oh, why all that came? All right, this is required. So shutdown command only works with admin database. Try use admin. Used admin and shutdown. This is how it actually shut down, basically. That is what you have to follow. If not, you can shut down from anywhere. I'll also talk about that. There is one another command to shut down. So now if you go and check at OS level, ps-grep, Mongo is not running at the moment. Okay, I can start the Mongo d-f etc Mongo conf. So he cannot start. Ravinder is not owning the directories where Mongo is running. Only Mongo user is owning it. We know that. We discussed that part already. Mongo user, he can start the MongoD because he owns the directory. It is a service account for Mongo. Right, it is started. So now if I go to Mongo, it will connect. Now, if I wanted to shut down where I'm connected to DB test, maybe use SQL DBA, connected to SQL DBA. If I do the db.shutdown server, it will throw the error. But still, I wanted to shut down from this current database itself. there is something called a db.admin command. Admin command. Using this, you can shut down the server from anywhere. Shut down true, I guess. If you use this, it will shut down the server anywhere from anywhere. You don't need to be in the admin database. Admin means using the admin command. It is going to the admin database and shutting down. So you can sit any of the database, you can shut down. But if you wanted to use this shutdown function, server function, shutdown server is a function, and this can work only under the admin database. But I'm connected to some other database, but still I wanted to shut down. This is a command, admin command. So admin database, you are connecting to admin database and doing the shutdown, which means. So now if I go and check, Mongo is shut down again. There is no Mongo server right now. It stopped basically. So now if I wanted to start it, I have to start it. Right, you see this. Now Mongo came online. Where it is? Here's the Mongo. Like this, we can shut down the server. So use admin shutdown server or shut down the server from any database you connected from db.admin command. Okay, this is enough, I guess. Now you wanted to use the same command under admin, run command. So there are some commands you wanted to run from the admin database. Instead of admin, if you use admin, you can run from anywhere. You are the under the admin database, you can run command shutdown, like that. So if you wanted to stop Mongo, use admin. Using the admin, you have a db dot like a stop server, right? Shutdown server, sorry, shutdown server. Or you can run this command, run command and shut down true. You can use either of this. These are the ways we can shut down the server. It is all shut down. No Mongo is running. There are three ways to shut down the server. I'm talking about everything, guys. All possibilities. Started. Started the Mongo again. So if you see, you can shut it down. There is something called force shutdown. This will talk in the replication anyway. Forceful shutdown is required when we have to shut down the primary replica. Primary replica, actually, you see, you lost all secondaries. Only primary left to shut down. Then you cannot shut down because it's the last one in the replication. You cannot shut down. But you wanted to do the shutdown forcibly. Use this option. We will talk that in the replication. No need to worry. For now, we cannot see this because we don't have a replication. Okay, this work in the replica set only. Server status. The thing I was saying, don't do any server activities. I mean, the OS team, you have to give a notification to the Mongo admin, stop the servers. Why it is need to be stopped? Let's talk about that. So there is something called where Mongo db data. We have data directory, right? Here it will create one file basically. MongoDB lock. This is the one. MongoDB lock. What does it do? Mongo, if you read it, oh, come on, I'm not the owner. It will maintain the session details. 8442. Mongo session ID is 8442. You can see that. It is maintaining the Mongo session 8442 is a Mongo session. That session details are loaded into one of the file in the background. Okay. If I shut down the server, let's connect from here. Just first. I'm shutting down the server. db.admin command. We can run this right from anywhere. We just talked about. shut down. Observe carefully here. This is a very important discussion. The Mongo is gone down. Now, if I go and see where I'm right now into data directory, if I read that file MongoDB lock, it does not have anything right now. It becomes 0. Why it is become 0? Because it is graceful shutdown. Okay, if I read that file Mongo lock, it is come on. It does not have anything. It does not have anything. I'll start the Mongo again. Where I was starting. Now, as soon as you start, you get the value in it, the process ID, the Mongo process ID, you'll get into it. The Mongo process ID is 8589. You see the 8589 in the Mongo file. This is the one of the Mongo file. Good enough. You got it. Now I'll kill the sessions. You're not supposed to, but if you kill, what happens? Kill hyphen and force killing the Mongo, or the session ID is 8589. 8589. Okay. So Mongo is running at the moment. You can see this. Mongo is running it. I'm forcibly killing at OS level. This is what happens when if we don't reboot, stop the Mongo basically. Come on, kill operation not permitted. Sudo, I have to use sudo. Right, it is killed. Now, if you go and see, Mongo is not running anymore because I killed it manually. If you kill, what happens? LSF and L, this file does not become 0. Mongo is not running. Still, it is holding the, come on. Right. It is holding the session ID. Does not know that Mongo went down. MongoDB does not aware that Mongo went down. Why? Because it's abrupt shutdown. All of a sudden power unplugged kind of thing. The OS was abruptly shut down because Mongo did not get the signal to stop. It just, like from the OS end it is stopped, but Mongo internally does not know that Mongo stopped. So if this happens, it does not go for the recovery. Recovery means any data is there in the journal, the pending data, it won't pick up. It will pick up anyway. It will pick up from 3.6 onwards. 3.2, it is not there. Like if you don't shut down the Mongo, it will come online without verifying the journal. Why? Because it was not knowing that the Mongo is stopped. The product does not know. It will come as it is. From 3.6 onwards, it is implemented anyway. Even you don't stop the Mongo will go and verify the data from the journal and get it. That is there from the newer version, but older versions, if you are working with, you must stop Mongo. It's mandatory. If you don't stop Mongo, it won't even start sometime. It won't even start. Then if it is not starting it, you have to repair the Mongo. How do you repair? Let's talk about this. See guys, recover a standalone after unexpected shutdown. If unexpected shutdown happen, Mongo is not starting, what you can do? That is what the discussion. When standalone MongoDB instance has journaling disabled or unclean, shutdown may leave the data in the inconsistent status. Has a journaling. It has a journaling. Inconsistent status means if something is writing in middle, all of sudden shut down. The following unclean shutdown, non-empty MongoDB log file exists. When you shut down, this is what non-empty. When you kill the session, it'll still keeping the data in the log file. Why it is keeping the data? Because it did not get the signal to shut down, but it shut down MongoDB internally. So that will create the issue. So following unclean shutdown, non-empty file MongoDB exists. MongoDB exists actually. MongoDB instance logs a following message upon the restart. Detected unclean shutdown, MongoDB log is not empty. This is a case with the 3.0, 3.2. If you are working with the 3.2 Mongo server will not start because the Mongo did not shut down cleanly, and Mongo log file should be empty, then only it will start. If that is the case, you do the repair. Even in the higher versions also we do the repair if it is not starting for data corruptions. It will skip the data, whatever is missing, it will come online. Repair means. It's not a good thing, but anyway, certain situations you need to know. Is Mongo running right now? This is the last discussion for us. No Mongo is running at the moment, right? We are not running the Mongo. So I'll start the Mongo with the repair. When do we use repair? Basically, when Mongo is not starting it. Don't do this. It's very dangerous. With the repair means whatever is missing, it will skip the data and come online, without verifying it. Don't verify anything. Come online, whatever the data is available. Repair means. So that is what you have to run if it is a 3.2 or 3.0 versions. 3.4 and 3.6 onwards is dynamic, good enough. You don't need to worry. Even Mongo got shut down without intimation to the Mongo, still it will recover the data. That's something good. And it will start also. No need to worry, it will start. But if it's 3.0, 3.2, it won't start. You have to use a repair only, then only it will start. Something not good. If there is any data gap, it will skip. You don't know what data is skipped out. That is very dangerous if you use the repair. Repair is something, it does not look for the data validity. It just look for whatever the data is available and ready to pick up, it will pick up and come online. Something is corrupted, that also it will skip and come online. So you don't know the data was missed in the background. Not good. So if it is a 3.2 version, if you are supporting 3.2 version, you must stop the Mongo. If not, Mongo will not start. If it is not starting, you have to use the repair. If you are using the repair, you can see the data loss. You cannot, but you are not guaranteed that data is not be lost, kind of. Right? That's not something good. So this is what you need to know for today. We are done, right? We'll see the next. We have a lot of interesting topics further. Very interesting. I'm going to make it interesting. Why? Because this is something you have to do. Okay. Any questions from today's discussion?
So
Or
Ravi,
people?
can't we bring the service online without doing that repair?
No, we cannot. That is what I'm telling, right?
No, that MongoD log file is not empty, right? So can't we do anything with that MongoD log file without doing something repair?
No, you have to do that. Then only it knows. You when you delete it, it knows the status, last status of the Mongo. You must do that. It's mandatory. Because you did
So
not signal,
if you try to start also, it will not start, right?
you have to use a repair. As simple as it is. Anyway, from 3.6 onwards, it is dynamic. You don't need to worry about this situation, especially what I'm talking right now. The older versions, you definitely have to do the repair. Then only it will come online. That is the reason any OS activity takes place, we need to shut down the Mongo. It's a mandatory. Even in the higher versions also it is recommended. Shut down the Mongo before OS activities.
Okay, if unexpectedly they did means in the higher version, when they start, it will come automatically without repair.
Without repair, it will come online. That's good. Actually, they rectified this issue, and even if the data gap is there, it will pick up the data and come online. That is something good in the higher versions. Anyway, they are asking you to shut down the Mongo before the activity.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is doing for you good enough, but still the recommendation is still there. Shut down the Mongo before shutting down the OS. As simple as it is. You don't know, something happens with the Mongo, some data corruptions, something is actively writing the data, and then they abruptly it is shut down, then it does not know the where it is left off. Something happened, that is a corruption. So do the graceful shutdown. Recommended. Okay guys, that's all for today. So we'll discuss further tomorrow. I'll send this notepad, right? Okay guys, have a good day and good night.
Hey,
We'll meet tomorrow.
Ravika,
Yeah.
I think you did not send the notes for the previous class.